Hello and welcome to another Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits review. Today I'm reviewing this fella, Jennings Fine Line Pale Ale. A 4% offering, and it says the discovery of the pencil etched with into Cumbria's history. Whatever that means. Oh dear. So, this was on sale at Home Bargains, another Home Bargains beer. I've just done a cider review, that was from Home Bargains as well. I think it is now at Morrison's as well. So, gold pour, big white head. It's taking a bit of time to go down. So we'll pour that in. So yeah, if you didn't know, Jennings Brewery is part of the Marston's group. And actually says on the back here, Marston's PLC, Jennings Brewery, Castle Brewery, Cockermouth, Cumbria. So, if you didn't know, obviously, you may not know, Marston's own a massive amount of breweries. Jennings, McEwen's, Wychwood, Eagle Brewery. There's more, I know there's more. Let me just put my date on. 1st of the 1st, 1976. Bloody days. Does you hadn't done it. As if kids are going to be looking at booze. Yeah, so it says here, the discovery of graphite in Cumbria in the 1500s led to the invention of the pencil, an innovation the world has drawn on ever since. I get that. That's clever. Fine Line is our way of paying tribute, and appropriately enough, it's HB, a hoppy beer. Jesus, someone's witty. With vibrant tropical fruit and citrus notes derived from a heady mix of New World and Antipodean hops. So you see light gold, which you did. The smell is aromatic, zesty and hoppy. The taste is crisp, refreshing tropical fruit. So, just put the hot tub on and it's 40 degrees and I can't get in at 40. So I says, well, I might as well come down, do a beer review. And tonight, the mop's getting cut. It's far too long, it looks awful. So it's getting shaved off. Can't stand it no longer. Oh, that's quite nice. So on the aroma, I've locked up nose all of a sudden. A hoppy aroma to start off with. And on the taste, yeah, nice. Nice citrusy taste to it. So I'll put the bottle there. I do like the bottle on there, because the good thing is, when I'm doing reviews now, I actually get it. Just because what you do, you record you do the review, and at the end of the review, when you've uploaded it, you've got 3 thumbnails that it automatically generates. You have no say in how that operates, unless you go to the messing about of uploading your own thumbnail, which is usually be a picture of the bottle anyway. And now with that being there, it grabs, at least it grabs it with it already on. The only downside is it grabs me. Some of the times, sometimes I look pissed. That might be the truth, I don't know. And sometimes you're looking, God, I look gormless on that. So yeah, nice traditional beer this. A little bit zesty. But yeah, for me, Jennings, we're definitely talking a beer that would fit very well in pubs on draft. Not so much a craft beer, but traditional beer. And very palatable too. Oh, so it's funny, you get to the evenings and I mean, for those of you who are furloughed, it must be strange and great at the same time, because being able to I'll get the word out in a minute. Being able to chill out all day and that. I know it gets old after a while, but those weeks when I was only doing 1 or 2 days at work, they were fantastic. Coming home 5 days, and I was getting so many jobs done. You know, little jobs that never get around to doing. I was doing them, and yeah, cracking days. Now I've got to wait now to my birthday, so I've nearly for a week off. And the only good thing as well with all these people being furloughed is, think of all them bloody holidays that you're not used. I mean, if your job's there when you go back, that's another thing, because obviously there are going to be job cuts somewhere. What I think will happen though, there will be job losses, that's a given, but there'll be change of jobs. People will move into different sectors altogether. And even myself, I've got the hand on the trigger now at the moment to looking at something else, to a different job. I was actually hoping to go back to my old job, but obviously different man in charge, and obviously he's got a thing about me. Yeah. Oh well, there's a loss really, because without being big-headed, I am a great gardener, and I'm very good at my job, and I care for what I do. And but I also need a job that's interesting, invigorating, putting your own stamp on stuff, and not being controlled too much. You know, i.e., you've got to do it this way, you've got to do it that way, and yeah, I don't really get that at the moment, which is a pain. It's like everything's on a schedule, and it's a bit anal at times. I mean, you don't mind doing certain jobs at certain times, but this should be the thing, to move jobs around if need be, or change what you're doing, depending on the situation. Aren't jobs funny things? Yes, they bloody are. It's such a lottery with jobs as well, because like last year when I moved to this job, it ticked every single box. Working closer to home, at a good location, seemingly a great place to work, good site, like a fresh start really, and yeah, it's not transpired as I would have liked. Hey yo, that's life, isn't it? But in the old days, I couldn't envisage moving jobs. Nowadays, I'm like, I'm not having it. If I'm not having it, I'm not having it. And yeah, I know sometimes you can be too quick to pull the trigger and move on. And I don't want to be a flitter if I can help it. So it might be the thing that I apply for the job that I've seen, and it does tick the boxes. The only downside is, I reckon, the start times, the hour work times at work will be, if it's 8 till 5, I'm not going back to 8 till 5. Sod that. That's the only downer with a lot of jobs, because obviously you're not allowed to start work on people's gardens too early. But 8-5 means you're going into work when it's busy, you're coming home when it's busy, and it adds extra half an hour's travel both sides of the day. Obviously not so much at the moment, but certainly when things go back to normal, and they're starting to go back to normal. If they're going to reopen shops on June the 15th, then a lot of the lockdown stuff will change. One thing, the economy will get going quite a bit faster, and then really then after that's the hospitality industry, i.e. the beer industry. I mean, pubs and that, sometime in July they say, oh, something along them lines, like reopening the pubs. So now we're all trained. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Because at the start of it, he says you must do social distance, and nobody did. Nobody gave a flying monkeys about it. And then he did what he did. But now we're all trained to be social distant, because one, we're all scared of losing our lives anyway. It's not so much it's not a joke these days. This I mean, I took the mickey out of coronavirus. You know, when you've seen how many people are dying in China, it's like, yeah, 1.4 billion and only 3,000 dead. It's nothing. Then you come in this country and there's 30 odd thousand people dead, and it's like, oof. Yeah, the percentages, wow. Obviously the Chinese are much better at the old social distance thing and the old covering the face with face masks. See, they do that nearly all the time anyway. So that's probably why theirs is a lot lower. And in this country, we don't use face masks. Well, hardly anybody did. Yeah. We've got a real twang then on the mouth. Brings out that citrusy and the zinginess of it. Oh, good long-lasting flavour as well. And like I said, not a bad traditional tasting beer. Yes, it's got elements in that craft beers have got, but it's not like that. It's like a traditional beer with hints of bits and bobs in. And jolly decent too. So yeah, gold pour, little whitehead that soon disappeared. On the nose, into citrus on the nose, and malt. On the taste, that citrus came through, but it was a hint of citrus. It's a traditional beer with a bit of citrus just dobbed in, just to make it slightly different from a traditional malt tasting beer. Out of 5 then. I thought it was a nice beer. I certainly think it's more of a pub beer, you know, on a draft beer rather than craft beer. But very quaffable, very drinkable, very sessionable at 4%. So out of 5. For me, about 3.9 out of 5. Yeah, it was alright. I wouldn't say it was special, but it was quaffable and well worth trying. And that's it for this review. Thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing, everyone. 630 subscribers now. Wow. And see you soon. Stay safe.